Hello everyone, welcome back to the Talk Center YouTube channel. In today's video, we will be taking a look at some of the top 7 Jordan Peterson destroys moments. But before we do, may you guys consider clicking on the like button and subscribing to the channel for a lot more content like this and much more. And if you do, you will not want to miss out. Click that bell icon to receive notifications whenever we upload. Now, let's get right into this video. Number 1, we start things off with Jordan Peterson, who was on a news show and debating about gender equality in women. The woman believes that men have all the advantages and that women are the ones suffering as a result. Jordan was against this argument, and he came out with some damning facts to kill this woman's argument.
Being able to have different choices and having equality of outcome.
Well, so the overwhelming proportion of people who are in prisons are male. Now, do you want to equalize that, just out of curiosity? What about bricklayers? They're 99% male, and we've got about 3/4 of the part.
The points Jordan came with actually suggested that men have it difficult in some cases, and this inequality thing the woman was speaking of is a myth. The woman did not seem to have a reply to what Peterson said. She was speechless, and as a result, she just got owned. Number 2, Jordan Peterson was stern in answering a question about being forced to speak into using certain words or languages. He was speaking to an audience and they seemed to agree with what they said, cheering him.
The reason I'm not a fan of that sort of person is because I've done my homework. I've read everything I can get my hands on in the development of authoritarian political systems, and I know the literature inside out and backwards. And I am not going to be a mouthpiece for language that I detest.
Peterson proved his point by saying that he has studied it and done all the research, and therefore he will not be sucked into what other people are saying, but he is firm on the belief that he has come to having studied and done the research. Number 3, we are about to see Jordan Peterson speaking during an interview about gender equality. The interviewer argued that women are not being treated equally to men, but then Jordan debunked everything that he said with some very good points.
Look, first of all, there's some things we got to get straight. History is a rough business. Everybody had it rough. In 1895, the typical Westerner lived on less than $1 a day, which is absolute poverty by today's standards, right? And so people were brutally poor.
He said that back in the day, everyone had it really tough, whether it was a man or a woman. So people cannot say that it was just women that struggled back in the day, but rather even men did. During the interview, he also mentioned how men had to go to war while women didn't, for example. Number 4. Next, we have Peterson speaking about how certain things will always offend people. Some are arguing that people need to be careful with that and, be careful what they say to prevent the risk of offending people. But Peterson had a pretty interesting example of how this is simply impossible.
What if I'm speaking to 10 people? Do I get to offend 1 in 10? How about 1 in 100? How about 1 in 1,000? You're going to come out on stage and you're going to say something important about something vital, and you're not going to offend 1 person in 1,000? Well, you can't say anything about anything important ever.
What he said makes sense and kills everyone's argument of not offending anyone. He says there that there is no way you can speak about anything vital or important ever without offending someone. He believes that these are important issues for the most part, and they're insanely offensive. Number 5. In this clip, you are about to see Jordan Peterson in an interview with GQ talking once again about gender equality issues. The interviewer was arguing that the world was male-dominated. She says that most of the wealth is made by men and much more. Peterson, though, highlighted the fact that some of the less glamorous things are done by men.
Well, in what sense is our society male-dominated?
The fact that the vast majority of wealth is owned by men, the vast majority of capital is owned by men. Women do more unpaid labour.
Very tiny proportion of men and a huge proportion of people who are seriously disaffected.
I don't think the interview ever thought of that. Things like poverty is mostly men and suicide rates and much more. Peterson was basically highlighting that not everything good is for men, and in fact that some things women have better, and that most of the women were only talking about minorities and not the bigger picture. Number 6. We end things off with Jordan Peterson, who was a part of a panel on an Australian live show. At this point, the panel were taking questions, and a woman asked Peterson a question, but her question was filled with a few opinions and thoughts, and Peterson called her out on it.
Your advice beyond banal comments like clean your room.
Well, actually rather difficult to answer a question that ends with your comments are banal.
Peterson embarrassed this woman in front of everyone in the audience as well as on national television. He told her to ask a proper question instead of sliding her opinion in with a so-called question. Number 7, we end things off with a clip of an interview that Jordan Peterson did with GQ. During the interview, the interviewer said that the alt-right enjoyed Peterson's work. Peterson firmly disagreed and said, in fact, they gave some stern advice to the interviewer, which was pretty cold. Roll the clip.
How much responsibility do you feel that you have, particularly to guys the alt-right, who, as you say, some of them have enjoyed your work, and say,
No,
I'm not one of you guys. I'm not with you guys.
They haven't enjoyed my work.
I've definitely read bits on the
Read more. Ouch. That sure silenced the woman who was trying to make a point, but Peterson was clearly illustrating to her that her point was just plain wrong. A slight dig at her for not doing enough research, and it's pretty damn embarrassing. Thanks for watching this video. If you did like it, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more content like this as soon as we post it. We'll see you guys next time, but until then, take care.